He stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the hills, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below their town. For he knew every who-down and who-bill beneath was busy now, hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging stockings. He snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow's Christmas, it's practically here. And he growled with his Grinch fingers. Everything's coming. And those friends, some way he stopped Christmas from coming. For tomorrow he knew.
Oh, pictures. Nice.
All the girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for the toys. And then, oh the noise, 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 noise. That's one thing he heard. Hated. Noise, 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 noise. For he, young and old, would sit down to a feast. And they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, 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 feast. They would feast on who pudding and who roast beef, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least.
They're so cute. He had real bike on it.
And then they'd do something like face the ball. They would them in the real, all in the small. They'll stand close together as the Christmas bells ring. They'll stand hand in hand, and the who's would start singing. And they'd sing, and they'd sing, and they'd sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought, I must do Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years, I put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea.
What's the idea?
I know.
It's Puzzler.
It's Puzzler from Puzzler.
I know just what to do with his lights in his throat. He made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled and clucked. What a great Grinchy trick. With his coat and his hat, I'll look just like Saint Nick.
Oh.
Oh, I'm neat as a reindeer. The Grinch looked around. But since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that thought the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. That's Santa Claus. What's real Santa? Like in the book.
You're not in this.
Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old bags. Then the Grinch said, giddy up, and toward the sleigh started down for sailing for the who's and snooze in their town.
The who's a snooze in their town?
All their windows were dark, quiet snow filled the air. All the who's were dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square, this is Scott River Wood with Grinchy Claus. And he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney and ran a tight pitch, and if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. Got stuck only once for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out the fireplace, flew. Where there were little who stockings, all hung in a row, were stuck. These stockings, he grinned, the first things to go. Then he slithered a slunk with a smile most unpleasant. Around the whole room he took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn and plums. And he stuffed their bags in the Grinch very nimbly. Stuffed all the bags up, one by one, up the chimbley.
Nimbly Chimbley.
Then to slunk the ice box, he took the Who's feast, took Who pudding, took the roast beast. He cleaned out their ice box as quick as flash. Why, the Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee, and now, grinned the Grinch, I'll stuff up the tree. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he stuffed and started to shove, when he heard a small sound like a coo or of a dove. He turned around fast, and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou Who was no more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by his tiny Who daughter, who got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, "Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?" But you know that old Grinch was so smart and slick. Why, he made up a little lie and thought it up quick. "Why, my sweet little tot, the fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it into my workshop, my dear. Break it up there and I'll bring it back here." And he fibbed, fooled the child. Then he patted her head. He got her a drink and sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed up the tree up. The last thing he took was a log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And he one speck of food and left in the house, a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to his houses, leaving crumbs much too small for other Who mouses. It was 10:15. Dawn. All the Who's still in bed, all the Who's still asleep. When he packed up his sled, packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrapping, the tags, and the tinsel, the trimming, the trappings. It's a lot of stuff. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Cloud. happened? He rode with his load to the tip top to dump it. Pooh, Pooh, the shoes. He was grinchiously humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will be hanging open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, Boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo.
That's a noise from the Grinch that I simply must hear. So he paused and the Grinch put his hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over his mouth. It started in low and then it started to grow. But the sound was had. Why this sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Blah, who doing this? Thought people were gonna join me. Every Hugh down in Whoville, the tall and the small, were singing without any presents at all. He hadn't expected Christmas was coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same.
Oh, wow.
What are you doing? And the Grinch with his Grinch feet, ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons, it came without tags, it came without packages, boxes, or bags. Then he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps is a little bit more.
I love
Max
that.
is the cutest.
I think Cindy Lou Who's the cutest.
And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. And he brought back the toys and the food for the feast, and he
And he himself,
agreed.
the Grinch,